On this episode, we're back with our Road Trip Unscripted series where anything goes, and this is the 8th and final installment before it becomes a Wonderland Crew exclusive. Today is July 21st, 2023. This is episode 584 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys.
Happy birthday, Rhonda.
Aw, thanks.
It's actually we're recording on the way down to Universal Studios. Today's Lacey's 13th birthday.
Yes,
to record on Thursday. Yours is tomorrow, Friday the 21st when this episode comes out. So we are doing our road trip unscripted here, and we've decided to take this series that we do once a month and make it a Wonderland Crew exclusive after this.
Okay.
So you can go to wonderlandcrew.com, check out our Patreon group, go ahead and join. It's only $12 a month. You get a ton of exclusive extra content, including this series moving forward. And basically this series is a collection of questions, short topics that don't really require probably an entire episode, but we can talk about them for a few minutes. And we randomly select from this list I've generated, and we go ahead and answer them. But before we get into that, make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning that trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the dining reservations that you wanted so badly. I know that it's frustrating, but don't worry. Mouse Dining removes that frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. So in addition to this going to a Wonderland Crew exclusive, we are also testing out a brand new little portable studio here with some wireless lavalier mics.
Yeah, I started to say, make sure you tell them that, because if, in case, unfortunately, the sound is a little off.
Yeah, and we're gonna see our old system, which was wired and a little bit clunky. It didn't sound awful, but you picked up a lot of background noise, especially from the moving vehicle. I'm hoping this one will do a little bit better. But with anything, we're testing it out. So if this is your first time ever listening to Main Street Magic, we are normally inside of a professional studio, and it sounds much, much better. So we've got a list of 17 different little topics here.
Ooh.
And we usually go through about 4 or 5 of them, depending on how long they take. And I always let Rhonda just randomly select a number. We see what topic lines up, and we go from there. So Rhonda, pick a number between 1 and 17.
17.
17. What do you miss the most about old Disney, the way Disney used to be? Maybe we even say, what do you miss most about pre-COVID Disney?
I guess maybe the fast passes.
Yeah, 100%.
I
I mean, simplicity.
Yeah.
I would say it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never been easy to plan a Disney trip, but it certainly used to be easier.
Yeah.
You know, when you had things like the Magical Express.
Yeah.
You know, that made life so much easier for folks that were flying in and out. You know, yeah, your fast passes, everything was just a little bit easier. Even if you go back, you only go to old Disney, like, I really like Hollywood Studios. I miss MGM and what it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, where you didn't feel like you were in a working studio, basically.
Right.
And they had all those incredible behind the scenes, like, I really wish that Hollywood Studios would have expanded instead of replacing.
Yes. I was I miss like some interactions.
Yeah, Backlot Express,
Yeah.
or Backlot Tour, all those types of things. Yeah, I don't know. There was a different nostalgia then.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it took a lot to plan, and I remember going with my family when I was young and chasing my dad around the park because he had everything planned down to the minute. He was running all over the place to get from one thing to the other, but it just felt different.
Yeah.
You know, and now, it kind of can feel like a job for people. I mean, for us, it technically is.
Yeah, and that is sad for some people. Like, it's funny when I talk to older people that have gone to the parks for, 50 years, literally, and how it was, where now it's just so different, and that's what keeps us a job, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't just pick up and you can't go, oh, I'm going to go to Disney this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, you have to plan so much. You can't just, oh, we're going to get in the car and go and get a ticket and go in that day. Like,
Yeah, I know, and yeah, going back to kind of things that have changed. I mean, we've never really had a problem with park reservations. We don't really have a problem with the 2 p.m. park hop, but I miss no reservations, and I miss just going where you want it when you want it.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, I would love, for example, we're staying at Fort Wilderness here in 2 weeks. Awesome camper from Camper Rental Adventures, a golf cart and all. And, I've got like Magic Kingdom booked for one morning. It just stinks that we can't just wake up one morning and go, you know what? Let's go grab a coffee and some breakfast from Magic Kingdom. We'll take the boat over. And then I feel like taking the monorail to Epcot.
Right.
And then we'll just go ahead and head back to the campground, all before lunch.
Right.
So I do miss those things. I don't know if that's the next step for Disney now that they're getting rid of date-based ticket park reservations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the simplicity, not needing a PhD to go to Disney, I think is one thing I really miss the most.
Yeah.
All right, Rhonda, try and stay in between the lines here.
Sorry.
You like to color outside the lines and drive outside them as well sometimes. All right, now we're down to numbers 1 through 16. What are we going with?
Number 7.
Number 7. Which park is worth going to 2 days in a row? What do you think?
Probably Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. There's the most to do.
There's the most, and especially depending on your age of child. But if you have a very young child, I'd say Magic Kingdom. I'd say if you have older children / your adults, I'd say Epcot, depending especially if there's a festival.
Mm-hmm.
If you have probably teenagers, possibly Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
That is my
No, I think you're spot on.
answer.
Yeah, you're spot on. A lot of those, and that's why we like having these discussions about these type of topics, because so many of them are dependent on the makeup of your family, your travel party, your whatever. For us, if we were here for an entire week, we're not going to go to Magic Kingdom for 2 days.
And if we are, it's because we're going to ride Tron.
Right, exactly. But for, the family that, from Denver, it only comes once every year, once every 5 years, and they've got young ones, 7 and 10 years old or something, Magic Kingdom, definitely need multiple days.
Yeah.
If you are the type that is like, I got to ride Cosmic Rewind, and I'm not going to spend money on an individual lightning lane, so it's virtual queue or bust. And the first day you don't get a virtual queue, and you miss the 1 p.m. drop for whatever reason, because you don't listen to our show, I would say, then you might go, oh, I need a second day at Epcot.
Yeah.
I need that second chance. And maybe the second day you go, all right, I'll just, I'll get individual lightning lane if I don't get the virtual. I just want to ride it. So it's definitely dependent on all of that. If you're a big Star Wars fan, I think you can spend a lot of time in that too, just wandering around and, looking at all the little details. And that's another one, Rise of Resistance, with the issues it's been having, especially lately. You may find you need 2 days just to get a chance to ride it.
Right.
Unfortunately. So it's going to definitely vary, but I like your breakdown of ages based on those. Right. So little kids, Magic Kingdom, teenagers, Hollywood Studios, older or, adults would be Epcot. While I still think that Animal Kingdom can easily be a full day park if you take in everything it has to offer, that's the one that I'd probably skip adding a second day to.
Yeah.
Overall. Unless you just go and you're like, oh my gosh, I love it. I want to go do things again. Right. But yeah. All right. I've moved the list up. That's why we're still having these numbers are going down a little bit. 1 through 15. Rhonda, pick our next topic of discussion.
Number 3.
Number 3. This is going to be another one. This is going to have a lot of variance. Is it worth $500 to switch from All-Star Movies to Pop Century? I'll preface that.
Absolutely. I don't know. Wait,
I'll preface that by saying that a lot of that is going to, that's a generalized question, because a lot of that's going to depend on how many days. Is that 5 nights, so it's $100 more a night? Is that 10 nights? It's only $50 more a night.
Well, I started to say,
you know what I mean?
how much? So it's $500, just basically, period. Like,
let's just say, $500 period. Let's just say that is for a week-long trip.
Right.
Right. So $500 over the course of just say 7 days, 6 nights potentially. So that's less than $100 a night, which is probably a pretty decent price.
Yeah.
Variant from movies.
I think I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it because I'm like, well, but if you save that $500, you're still on property, and you could spend the $500 throughout the week of other things. But when I say that big but, you have Skyliner access.
Yeah.
Which is huge because you can not only do Skyliner, but you can also do buses. The rooms pretty much are the same, correct?
You get the exact same room.
Exact same room, so you're not getting anything better there.
Amenities, I mean, honestly,
pretty much the same.
Yeah, amenities are pretty much the same. But, you mentioned Skyliner. Yeah, you mentioned Skyliner. That's another one that comes into play, which is, are you doing Hollywood Studios? Are you doing Epcot?
Right.
Are you doing them potentially multiple times? Skyliner's a game changer for $500 for a week.
And not only that, in my opinion, I keep thinking the buses. That is one entrance to All-Star Movies, All-Star Music, All-Star Sports.
And they can sometimes share.
They can, and sometimes it does take a hot minute to get home.
Yeah.
So
you could find yourself at an All-Star and then going, wow, day one of buses and I'm over them. Now we're just going to Uber the rest of the time, and then you're spending that money. Do you like to eat? You have really great access from Pop Century to Landscape of Flavor over at Art of Animation, to heading over to the Centertown Market at Caribbean Beach. You can take advantage of. These are just quick services. Primo Piatto over at Riviera, of taking Skyliner over to the boardwalk area and all of those. Then you got the restaurants like Topolino's. We love Bar Riva, Cabana Bana. What did I call it? Cabana. So you have really good access to all of those without having to deal with the bus system or having your own vehicle. So over a week long, I would say $500 is definitely worth it. Now, if you're talking about this was 2 or 3 nights and for some crazy reason it's that much more expensive, that $500 might be better spent elsewhere.
True.
So, all right, we are now on to number 1 through 14.
And number 13.
Number 13. Lucky number 13. Favorite apps to use in the parks. These would be apps on your phones, not apps that you digest. I guess technically you do digest them.
Wait, what? Favorite what?
Favorite apps to use, basically. So, like My Disney Experience is obviously number 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite apps to use on your phone to make your trip better or easier. My Disney Experience, you can't get along without it.
Yes.
Especially if you're using Genie Plus, you're going to have it. If you're booking your individual lightning lanes, if you're doing virtual queues, if you're doing mobile order for your quick service dining, if you want to unlock your room because you don't have a Magic Band and you just want the simplicity of using your phone. I shouldn't use the word simplicity with that. It's not simple. Things like that, I think that's a given. If you're interested in looking at wait times, do not bother with My Disney Experience. Download the Touring Plans Lines app. I would subscribe to Touring Plans. It's like $17 for a year. And if you're unaware, Touring Plans uses real-life data and user-generated data to show you what estimated wait times are. And then there are users all day and Touring Plans folks tracking the actual wait times. If you didn't know, Disney often inflates wait times for both customer satisfaction and to move people around the park as they see fit. They may bump a wait time way up to get people to not go in that line and then drop a wait time somewhere else under the actual and get people to try and go over there. Same reason sometimes you randomly see a character walking through the park. It's so that you try and follow them because Disney thinks it's too crowded in one area and they want to get people to the other area.
Amazing.
So Touring Plans is really, really good. I'm trying to think,
Heads Up.
Heads Up. Oh, that's great. Heads Up is a wonderful app to kill time when you are waiting in queues.
Yep.
Super fun. And there's even a Disney World edition, I think for like an additional 99 cents or something. We see people playing this all the time.
Yes, we do.
Any sort of game that your kids will like. I know you don't want your kids staring at a phone the whole time on vacation, but sometimes you got to keep them entertained.
Correct.
You know, so go ahead and
They do have the My Disney Play as well, or something.
Yeah,
that is
we've never really used that much.
I know.
It's very clunky to me.
clunky.
Yeah, just I don't know. It's just not
your
easy
phone.
to use. I know, but the app is clunky. An app can be clunky. One I was actually just looking at is Bottleneck. Is
What is
the
that?
app for CityWorks Poorhouse over at Disney Springs. You can earn rewards
That's right.
towards gift certificates and free meals and stuff. So go ahead and download that. I think it's one of those, like, as soon as we, it also gets you a percentage off of stuff, including alcohol, like at the walk-up window
Right.
that we've done before. So that's a good one to have. Starbucks, of course, is a good one to have. You can earn points, but you cannot redeem the points, I believe, at the Disney Starbucks in the parks.
I don't know either, and I know you cannot mobile order either, which
Right. You cannot use mobile order either. I know.
sucks.
It really does stink. While it's not an app, I don't know if they have an app. I was just logged into the website looking at it, is the Landry's card,
Oh yeah.
which we can use at Yak and Yeti, T-Rex, Rainforest, Forrest Gump over at City Walk, Morning Universal. Go ahead and sign up. It's going to cost you $25, but you immediately get a $25 reward. So it basically breaks even. You get prioritized seating as a walk-up at any of those places. You get a $25 gift certificate for your birthday. I had to reach out to Landry's because I think we're missing $25.
Oh no.
Because we paid the $25 there, right?
Yeah.
I didn't register the card till we got to the room. So we got our $25 reward.
Right.
And then it shows your birthday reward on July 1st that it entered, but it only says we have $25 total. We should have 50.
Oh.
So I
correct.
actually reached out to them. I
What'd they say?
haven't heard back yet. But that's something really good to have. But honestly, my number one out of any of them would be to get touring plans. It's also got a great.
Even over My Disney Experience.
Well, that's a given. You can't go to Disney without My Disney Experience.
Okay.
Maybe that's one. You know, we always like to try things out, like we did the bus roulette. You know, recently. Maybe one day we literally delete My Disney Experience.
No, not delete it.
Okay, we do not use My Disney Experience for a day, and just try to do the parks and see what it's like, or solely use touring plans. Touring plans has a crowd calculator built in. It's got countdowns for your trips. I enter all my trips in there. It will customize touring plans for you. Basically, it's what the free Genie service should be.
Okay.
It is what touring plans actually is, because
that might be fun.
touring plans doesn't have any skin in the game. All they want to do is report real-time data.
Right.
Disney has a reason to not be accurate.
Oh.
So definitely check that one out. All right, we're down now to 13 topics, 1 through 13.
Number
3, favorite places to eat at all 4 parks, both sit-down and quick service. Let's start at
all 4 parks.
Let's start at Magic Kingdom. What is your go-to quick service?
Quick service.
Yep.
Good Lord.
We don't do quick service at Magic
We
Kingdom.
don't, but if we ever do, I feel like we've totally done Sleepy Hollow multiple times.
Sleepy Hollow is a really, really good
It
one. And I don't think it's really thought of as like a normal quick service. You know, it's outdoor, kind of almost kiosk. It's got some outdoor seating behind there.
There's not a lot of options. But
No, there's
still,
not.
When there are good options, like there's sometimes new stuff.
Yeah.
That's always like cool.
Yeah, I like Sleepy Hollow a lot. I mean, for most people, it's going to be Casey's. And I actually really do enjoy Casey's.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those I used to give a bunch of crap to, and then we really sat down and had it one time, and I was like, okay, I get it, man. Like, so that'd be a good one. And I still think Pecos Bill is really good. It just, once that topping bar never came back, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
We may be getting something Tiana themed in there. Those
That'd be
are the
cool.
rumors flying around, but usually you can still get a really good meal there. I like their trio of tacos. I think it's a chicken taco, a pork taco, and a cauliflower taco, I believe, and they're really, really good there.
That's interesting.
Favorite sit down at Magic Kingdom? Everybody knows my answer.
Cinderella's Royal Table.
Cinderella Royal Table for you? Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. We've always had wonderful food and
Fantastic
experiences
food.
there. Yeah.
Great experiences.
I'm going to pick Skipper Canteen,
I
obviously.
figured.
I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. Absolutely love that place.
Especially this last time.
Oh my goodness. That was so
really
good.
good.
It was incredible. That lamb,
The lamb,
your steak,
and the steak.
everything. It was so outstanding. All right, let's move on to the next oldest park at Epcot. What is your go-to quick service? Yorkshire Fish Company?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down.
Agreed. Yeah. The fish and chips is so freaking good there. And when you have an actual Scottish man and his family come to Disney and they have it and say, this is legit.
Oh, yeah.
It is not rubbish. And they teach you the ways of the vinegar.
Yes.
It's absolutely outstanding.
Yep.
Katsura Grill is really good, though. I mean, that was always Kaylin's, the girl's favorite. We'd have to go there and get the teriyaki chicken with white rice. Yep. They do have sushi there. They've got some really good options there.
They do.
This one is going to be hard for me now. What is your favorite sit-down there? And if you want, we can almost break it up from food and atmosphere. I don't know. I mean, Space 220 is really hard to beat.
Yeah.
I think Space 220 is outstanding.
Yeah, it is.
And we've only done the prefix meal once, but we've sat at the bar now several times and tried all the items.
Right.
In the lounge menu.
Yep.
You can't beat the atmosphere, the experience, the story, everything. But boy, Le Cellier comes into play after dining there. That was outstanding.
Yeah.
We really, really loved it there, and that's a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, but I would say Space 220 would hit over that because there is possible like bar seating instead of just a actual.
Right. Hey, we're recording up here, kiddo. The girls just awoke from their slumber, apparently. So I would agree with Space 220 because you can't get that anywhere else. Le Cellier, well, you maybe can't get exactly Le Cellier anywhere else. You can go to steakhouses all over and get a similar experience.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say Space 220 there. Let's move over to Hollywood Studios. What is your go-to quick service at Hollywood Studios?
Quick service.
I love ABC Commissary.
Yeah, or Backlot Express.
You would pick Backlot Express over Docking Bay 7?
Oh,
I still think Docking Bay 7
we
is
just
the
haven't
best.
eaten there in a while.
No, we haven't. Yeah, I really do enjoy ABC Commissary though. Their tacos there, their shrimp tacos are outstanding.
Their falafel thingy.
Yeah,
the
Mediterranean salad.
Yes.
Is outstanding. I think it's often overlooked. People are upset with the menu change, and I don't think gave it a chance. While I can't eat an entire one, I like when other people get it and I can have a bite. Is the buffalo chicken grilled cheese? It's just too much for me to eat an entire thing. It's just it's heavy and greasy, but all in a good way.
Yeah.
But I think it's very shareable. What would be your go-to sit-down restaurant?
Brown Derby.
I agree.
Or Brown Derby Lounge.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both in one and the same. And that's another thing like Space 220. It's easier to get into.
Yeah.
You can go to the lounge and get everything inside without having reservations.
Yep.
Or if you're somehow like getting reservations and you get the reservations, then absolutely. But I think when they have things like that, and that's what will make us not using My Disney Experience
is a day
workable.
like that. Yeah, go into places that have a walk up.
Yep.
But again, you're going to have to do in-person walk up. No virtual walk up thing if we're not using My Disney Experience.
Right, but we can do that
for a day. How about we don't use My Disney Experience this entire weekend while we're at Universal? Let's see if we can do that.
Okay.
All right, so that was our sit down there. I will say I absolutely loved Roundup Rodeo. I mean, I'm not going to put it above Hollywood Brown Derby, but I loved it, and it's a 50-50. I see people absolutely destroy it, and I see people that absolutely loved it like us. I don't know. I don't know if that's all just personal taste and preference, or if some days they're off. I don't know. Let's move on to Animal Kingdom. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue that Satuli King is the best quick service.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know, man. Somebody yelled at me once for saying it wrong, so I was trying to say it correctly. Yeah. It bothered somebody enough to leave a negative review that I didn't know how to pronounce it correctly. So, but anyway, that's outstanding. Sit down. Yak and Yeti?
Yes.
I mean, Nomad Lounge, you could count. We can count that as a sit down.
Yeah, but they don't have. The only reason I would pick Yak and Yeti over Nomad is because, to me, they don't have a lot of food.
Yes.
Whereas if I'm hungry and I'm like, I want to eat, I'm gonna go to probably Yak and Yeti.
Yeah, because you're getting like tapas, small plates at Nomad, and it's a very small menu. I mean, you could go 30 times in a row to Yak and Yeti and get a different meal every time. You know, Nomad Lounge.
Unless you get the nachos every time, like I want to.
Are we getting those next week? Because we got a Yak and Yeti lunch reservation with Chuck and Amy.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get the nachos, and then we'll have to do some stuff we've never done. My only disappointing experience ever there was, remember I got the duck?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not care for it. I think we were there with Kat, Michael, Lucy, and Caleb that time. We got the nachos. Everybody else got meals. I got the duck, and I didn't love it. It wasn't bad duck. It just wasn't up to the standards of some of the other duck I've had on property. Speak of Cinderella's royal table. Ooh, that duck was outstanding. All right, we covered all four. Let's just, for fun, let's go to Disney Springs. Favorite quick service at Disney Springs and favorite table service. This is a really hard one.
Roadhouse, we'll say.
Roadhouse for table service. I can get on board with that. Earl's Sandwich used to be, but it's gone downhill.
That's right, because there's other ones like the burger place.
Yep. I mean, I love Blaze Pizza. Again, it's not a place we do quick service a lot.
No, but
you know what Earl has right now?
What?
Nashville hot chicken sandwich. No.
Again, Earl has not. Unfortunately, has been really good.
I don't think it's been great the last couple of times. I actually enjoy Chicken Guy. Chicken Guy is one of those places you're like, what's Chicken Guy? And you can say, well, it's a quick service restaurant owned by Guy Fieri. Oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm getting, and that's what you get, and it's good.
You get, and you don't forget.
Exactly. All right, 1 through 12. We'll do one final topic as we are approaching our destination very soon. 1 through 12, Rhonda. One final topic. Numero 6. All right. What do you think about Genie Plus? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. Obviously, I think everybody would prefer the old Fast Pass system, but overall, how do you feel about Genie Plus?
How do I feel?
Yeah. How do you feel, Rhonda? It's our podcast, so we get to get our answer.
Here's my answer. I feel fine about it because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I feel fine. But hearing Claire, one of my best friends, say that she has to set an alarm every 2 hours, hearing sometimes the way you get frustrated with it, I think it's sad for people who don't know how to use it. It's sad when a client says something about it, and like, for example, my client the other day, she stayed at Caribbean Beach, and she, in brand new rooms, so Trinidad, refurbished rooms. And
how'd you like them?
Well, there was water coming up, and to make a really long story short,
so not great.
They put a fan in her room. They didn't move them.
Are you serious?
But it wasn't awful, but she's like, these are brand new rooms. Like, why is this like this? But, so, get to the point, they called her and the family and said, hey, what can we do? Well, they were going to Magic Kingdom, and they were like, can we just have Tron? We want to ride Tron. Well, she told me that they gave them all of Genie Plus. And I was like, okay. And so she's explaining some stuff, and I go, well, did they give you Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes? Because then I'm like knowing a little bit what to say. And she's like, I don't know. And then she's like, so then she tells me that her son pretty much took care of it, and then proceeded to say that he added everything up, and Disney gave them over $200 which she was happy about because it was like $100 off her room and $100 off her son's room. Nice. And I'm like, well, that's great. And it's sad because she had no idea what that included.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to meet anyone that says, I prefer this over the old Fast Pass Plus system.
Yeah.
and booking them at 60 days out and getting your 3 and, all those types of things. Disney's not the first to charge for front of line access. They gave it for free the longest out of any theme park probably in the country at least. Everybody does it. Universal have been doing it forever, and theirs is insane. Now, theirs is simple. Anybody can use it. It can be explained to you in 10 seconds. How do you use Express Pass? You show up to a ride. All right. That sounds great.
Right.
The only thing you're going to have to say is, do you have unlimited or the once per ride? Right. Okay? Unlimited. Go to any ride you want at any time and go through the Express Pass lane. Explanation over. Now give me $350 per person per day.
Yeah.
Genie Plus, if you know how to use it and you use it properly, it works really, really well. It will maximize your time. It will maximize your vacation. It will get you front of line access for the most part. The problem is understanding it.
Yeah.
And when somebody asks me a question about Genie Plus and I have to second guess myself every time, that just shows how complicated it is to use.
You are very well educated in it.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, you could have a family that shows up and would go, maybe they're checking in and the cast members, doing a great job and like, oh, did you guys get your fast passes booked? And they could say, what's a fast pass? And that cast member could go, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't know this. They probably didn't use a travel agent, I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. And where could I get a travel agent?
A great question, Rhonda. You can go to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote.
Perfect.
This ad brought to you by Main Street Magic Travel. But that cast member could probably go, you know what? Let me see what I can do. All right? I got you guys 3 fast passes, or I got you an anytime fast pass.
All right.
I'm sorry that you didn't know about it. Now it's just so convoluted. They're not going to really be able to do that with Genie Plus. And they can't just say, I'll give you Genie Plus free for the day, because then they got to do it for everybody. It was a lot easier to do it for people when it was just this free fast pass thing.
Yep.
We'll see what changes. I have a feeling that when these new Genie Plus changes come, where they're going to go back to you being able to purchase it and reserve rides ahead of time, I think they're going to backtrack possibly to the old fast pass system. It's just now paid, which might be what their plan was all along. And who knows when they would have pulled the trigger on this. I mean, with the combination of COVID and JPEG, it was the opportune time for Disney to make major changes they had been planning on for years. It was a time to pull the trigger, and that's exactly what Genie Plus was, and individual lightning lanes. So, it's here. It's most likely here to stay, even though it'll evolve and change over time. Do your best to learn all about it. Go back and listen to our episodes that talk about Genie Plus. Go to the Main Street Magic Facebook community. Ask questions. There are some wonderful YouTube videos out there of people walking you through it. And, hit us up anytime, magic@mainstmagic.com. Ask questions. We can do the best we can to give you some proper answers. And hopefully you can utilize Genie Plus to the best of its ability, because it will make your vacation a little bit better. I mean, it makes it cost a little more, but if you budget that in ahead of time, then it should be okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we are almost, we're actually going to Disney Springs first. Why is that?
So Lacie, our 13-year-old, got lots of birthday gifts and money, so she wants to go shopping.
Yeah. So we're going to go to Disney Springs, and then we're going to check into Cabana Bay over at Universal Orlando Resort for 3 nights. We're going to hit the parks. I want to check out Minions Cafe. I'm hoping we can do the new Minions Blast. It has been in technical rehearsal, so hopefully we can bring you some info on that. We're going to do Volcano Bay, which will be today when you listen to this on Friday. We're going to celebrate Rhonda's birthday at Pat O'Brien's Friday night and see our new friend Blake, who we met at the Marriott. Which was that? Grand Vista? Yeah, playing keyboard. He cannot get rained out this time. He will be indoors.
Yay.
So we can see a full set. So be interested to see if he remembers us.
Yeah.
And it would actually be, I was thinking this earlier, it'd be insane with throwing my reference for this episode if he'd learned a Blue October song. Because I talked with him about them last time. And he would look them up and was like, oh, okay, yeah. So it'd be funny if he learned one. But hopefully we can get him to sing you happy birthday.
Aww.
I'm sure we can. So I think we got some friends coming out to meet us, so that'll be super fun. Then next weekend, we come home Sunday, and then we leave again Thursday. We are going to check in at Boulder Ridge with Chuck and Amy for 3 nights, opening a food and wine festival, I believe, Yak and Yeti lunch, We're looking at Akershus for our very first time for dinner on Thursday. So super excited for that. I think Rhonda is finally going to get to experience Cape May Cafe breakfast Sunday before we come home. And then we leave the following Thursday to head to Fort Wilderness with 4 teenage girls in tow. And we will be staying in a nice fifth wheel Raya and camper rental adventures.
2 bathrooms.
2 bathrooms.
Amazing.
Yeah, 2-bedroom. Check out Camper Rental Adventures. I'm telling you, if you are not the camping type, I totally get it. This is not camping, it's glamping.
It is glamping.
And these, they bring everything to the site. They set everything up. They break it down. Yeah.
Hotel room.
Yep. You pull up just as you're going to a hotel room. And there's so much to do at Fort Wilderness. You know, this is such a wonderful time for a staycation type weekend and to experience everything Fort Wilderness has to offer, especially if you can get one during the holiday season, anywhere from like, you know, Halloween time all the way through Christmas. You see all the sites decorated and stuff. It's just an absolute blast. So go check them out, Camper Rental Adventures. And then if you want to see all these live streams and everything that's going on as they happen, you can check out our Patreon group at wonderlandcrew.com. Go ahead, click to join there. Finally, hit that subscribe button. You get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. A lot of those upcoming episodes will be reviews of all these trips. So hope you're ready for that. And finally, if you're out on the internet, you can go ahead and leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.